Really looking forward to this. He's very successful in his chosen field. His name is Johnny Clarke. He's from Caerphilly, and his business is that of health and fitness for men. And he's seen his hard work and dedication pay dividends, not just in the people he helped, but also in terms of awards and recognition. But his journey to get to this point hasn't been without its difficulties. But we're going to let Johnny himself tell us his story. Johnny, it's a very, very warm welcome to you because it's so hot out there.
Yeah, thank you.
It is brilliant. So before we talk about your business and how you help others achieve their goals, and he's just shown me some photos, the before and after photos are completely amazing. Can we talk about you? Because life was very different for you some years ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2013 is where it kind of spiraled. I was drinking too much anyway. My father wasn't well. I lost my job. Then I had my car taken, repossessed. I couldn't pay it. Then my father was diagnosed with cancer. And from that point, I just, became an alcoholic. I had my mother to look after, disabled sister, disabled brother. But I wasn't looking after myself. And I think I was on that path for about 3 years.
You were lucky to survive it, weren't you?
Yes. Well, if I hadn't done what I did then and stopped, I wouldn't still be here now.
Thing is, in many ways, you had a lot to deal with. Your mum's not well, you disabled family members, your dad with the cancer and everything. I almost like, go on, mate. You carry on, mate. You carry on drinking, man.
I'm not massively against drinking. I think a lot of people can do it naturally, but I think some people are just not designed for it. They haven't got that switch where I go and have a pint or I have a drink with my food. I didn't have that. So for me, it got to the point where I was drinking 16 cans of lager every day. And that was through the week, and then weekend, it was, it's the weekend.
A little bit more.
I go all out on the weekend.
What did you used to do?
Factory work. I worked in a factory for 13 years making windows. Although I always had an interest in fitness, health, that sort of thing. But looking back on it now, it's kind of, I didn't realise then the things I was learning was what I'm going to utilise now and kind of put into fruition, sort of thing. So it's weird.
All knowledge is useful.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in addiction and in alcoholism because lots of people. I lived in England for quite a long time. I don't think the English realise we're pretty heavy drinking here. They think the Scots are heavy drinking, but we're good drinkers here, aren't we? So were you always a good drinker, so to speak?
Yeah, but believe it or not, my mother and father was teetotal. Didn't drink at all. I think I started at the usual age where everyone else, 14, 15, not a problem. Working in a factory, I'd have a couple of cans after work.
And didn't think anything of it?
Nah, it's kind of what everyone does, and I think when I finally did lose my job, and then I didn't have to wait till 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. The hours started going back, and pretty much an hour every so often, and it got to 11 o'clock in the morning, and then you justify it. And then I think 8 o'clock in the morning when that's when I thought, right, you have got an issue here.
Well, out of bed and into the car.
It's something you've got to admit to yourself. Lots of people was telling me I had a problem, which kind of...
Were you a bit miffed at that? Were you a bit like, get out of it?
Yeah. I was, because I think that was the only thing keeping me sane. And I believe to this day, if it wasn't for that drinking that extent at that time, I wouldn't be here anyway. I think it was masking me, it was subduing me, it was kind of putting me in a state of...
calming you down almost.
Yeah.
So you didn't do anything silly?
No.
So you could have gone on like that for years, couldn't you?
But looking back on it, I'm glad it happened. Reason being, the men I'm dealing with now, some of them have that issue. And I can speak to them not from a clipboard point of view of what I've learned in university. I've lived that life. I've lived, in debt. I've lived with anxiety. I've lived with depression. Lived with being, poor. And I think you can kind of relate to people better. I just done a 1,200 word blog for Fit Pro based on why I think it's important for an online fitness coach to integrate with a community. Because then you're not just somebody behind the screen firing out diet plans and training plans.
No, you got to be there face to face.
Yes, you build with them, and I think that gives a different belief in you. They believe in you differently from that perspective.
So, how did you dig yourself out of the initial hole? Because I know that you were not the only drinker in the house, were you?
My wife. When I met Claire, we both had a problem. And it was like almost as two stars colliding. And it was that big explosion where, well, she's drinking, she's doing this, she's doing that. And it'd be me and her, we'd be in the house and we'd gone for 3 days. Easily, not a problem.
So you lose in 3 days?
Yeah. And I think that's where it came about for me, where I was losing kind of grip with reality. I wasn't really a nice person in that sense. My brother got beat up 20 years ago. He had a gang of boys beat him up. And he had brain hemorrhage, double stroke. He paralysed.
Oh, how awful.
I think that kind of was a spark that was in me. You throw the drink on top of that, and it made me kind of angry with the world.
Yeah.
I wasn't angry at anyone in particular as such, other than the people who'd done it. But it changed my whole being, I think. I was never that sort of person. And I realised, I thought, well, no, I gotta give this up, And my wife deserved better. So I thought, she doesn't deserve me like that.
If she's drinking as well, how on earth did you manage to go, all right, this is what we're doing, or this is what I'm doing? I'm going to give up the drink.
It took one of us to lead the way, I think. One of us had to lead the way.
Was there one thing that happened? You thought, right, hang on, that's enough, all right, too far. Or was it did you just have a sit and think, Dan, what stopped you? Because that's what we need to know.
We went on our first holiday to Tenerife. And...
Nice.
Well, it should have been.
No. All right, okay.
Yeah, it didn't turn out nice. And it was, it was not a good holiday. And we come back, and then we give up the drink. And then we went on holiday again to Lanzarote. And we fell in love with our places. Our sober sanctuary.
Right.
And over the last 10 years, we've probably been 3 times a year. By the end of this year, we buy no place there.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
So it's your happy, sober place, as you called it.
We're both 10 years sober this year.
Oh, congratulations.
And that's what we're going to call it Chapter 10.
Brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. So, not easy to give up, but did you go cold turkey?
Yeah.
That must have been terrible. Did you have the shakes and everything?
Yeah, pains in my legs, couldn't sleep. Because I think, when you're drinking to that extent, you're not actually sleeping, you're going to bed, you're
going unconscious.
Yeah, and you're waking up, you're doing it all over again. So I couldn't sleep for a few weeks, all the usual things. But I think once I passed that, then it's the psychological one. And once a physical addiction is dealt with, you've got the emotional addiction. Then if something bad happens or you become stressed, that's when it's important not to run back to it. Because of what I realised in life, you're always going to have stress. Regardless of where you are in life, everyone is going to have stress. And if I was going to run back to drinking every time I got stressed,
yeah, that's not going to work. No, that's going to be start, stop. But tell me, what was it that made you think I need to stop? Was there one thing?
Not one occasion, essentially, but it was... I began to notice how I would change from when I was not drunk. The person I was talking to now, exactly the same. The second I had a drink, it was like Jekyll and Hyde. It was,
You weren't a nice drunk, were you?
No, not at all.
No.
And I look back on it, like I said, in terms of where I was, I've taken the things from there that I've needed now, and it is benefiting me in a lot of ways. But I look, at the time, I thought it was fine. I wasn't a problem. I could be a problem if somebody asked me to be a problem, but generally I wasn't. But then, you know, if I'm out and I'm drunk and I've had a row with somebody, I carry it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it come out on somebody else maybe or
Misdirected anger.
Yes.
But you were doing it with Claire.
Yes.
Is that easier, hard? I don't know. Easier, hard?
Well, I don't think I would have lasted as long as I have if it wasn't for the fact Claire was doing it as well.
Excellent woman.
It's not, what we've created isn't my life, it's ours.
Yeah.
And it relies heavily on sobriety. Mm-hmm. You know, we've got a couple of businesses, sports supplement shop and a gym and the online. If I had one sip of a can now, that'd be gone in 3 weeks.
You really think so?
And 100%.
Oh, it's that thing, isn't it? The alcoholics say, one drink is too many and 1,000 is not enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think
isn't that scary?
Yeah. I think the idea is to understand that concept where, you know, in the beginning, I give up for maybe a month and I did it. And then I think the same as everyone in this situation, first thing that will come to their mind is, I've kicked the habit now, I can go back to just drinking on a Friday. And then you have a drink on a Friday, and then it's a Saturday, and then a Sunday, and before you know it,
we're back to square one.
You're back to square one. So
Jeepers.
I can.
So you say you were already, when you had the job, you were already interested in fitness.
Yeah.
So you managed to get sober.
Yeah.
So what did you think? Right, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Was it? Yeah. What happened?
So I was putting a lot of my sobriety on Facebook. Reason being, one is taking ownership. One is, if there's someone else out there who's in the same position, seeing the fact that I have done it, and if I document it as I go along, at some point it could inspire them. It may
That's
not.
High risk, though. That is high risk, because if you fail...
Yeah.
Well, what happened then, Johnny?
Yeah. Well, I'm having a 22nd of October this year. I'm having a tattoo. I did design, and it says 10 years sober on it.
Fabulous.
You can't fail that.
No, you really... What are you pointing at the arm?
Yeah, you can't fail that.
No.
It's if someone asks me, do you ever fancy a drink? Yeah, regular.
Oh, Johnny.
I can taste. I'm 10 years sober. I can still taste what a pint tastes like. But what I've got now and what we've created from that is that one little thing worth...
Too much to lose.
Yes.
So tell me about the businesses. So you were already interested in fitness.
Yeah.
And what made you think, I know what I'll do? I'll open a business.
We opened a sports supplement shop.
That can't have been easy because, you need a bit of money to do that.
Well, fortunately, when you open it, they'll give you a month credit. So you can have X amount of supplements, pay them at the end of the month, which is a bit of a gamble.
No, but, you wanted to do this, didn't you? You really wanted to do this.
And ultimately, it was a base for people who messaged me and say, oh, John, I got a problem with drink, I got a problem with this. And it was actually come to the shop. I got an office, and that's what they do. They come to my shop, take them in the office, have a chat. And what I'd say to them is, join the gym. A lot of people replace one addiction with another bad addiction. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you can replace a bad addiction with a good one, then that changes everything. So I was saying, join the gym. And a lot of them were saying, well, I'm too nervous. I thought, you know what? I'll open one.
Really, seriously?
Yes. So I opened Niche Fitness. And then I thought myself, well, there's no point having a gym if you haven't got a personal trainer. So I went and qualified as a fitness instructor, personal trainer. Then personal trainers can't give out diet plans. They can give out diet advice, not diet plans. So I thought, well, I'll be a weight management consultant.
For heaven's sake.
So
your addiction is doing all these flipping qualifications, isn't it?
So I'm a weight management consultant. I've done 1,000 PT sessions in the space of a year in my own gym.
Good.
And then I thought, right, I'm going to go online now and then I can reach even more people. I started Precision Physiques January 2024 with a view of, in 5 years' time, hit 45 online clients, and I went straight to 130.
Bit of an overcompensating here, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's just where they've come from. Now helping, a lot of people on my challenges just, they want to lose weight. They want a reset in life. They want to get rid of the dad bod and so on. But there is a small percentage of people in there which have got their own little addictions or problems of their own.
Can you tell me about your clients to a certain degree? No names, no pack drill kind of thing.
All ages, all shapes, all sizes.
All fellas, though. All guys.
Yes,
yeah. Right.
So I do the men's challenges. It's a 10-week challenge, and they get a training plan, weekly check-in done on my app. They have diet plans and obviously regular messages, but I also add them to a private Facebook group. Because the idea is, I think a lot of online coaches want to get people in shape. They want them to lose that shape and then come back. But my goal is to, in the group, I'm explaining everything. Why we're not eating this, why we're eating that, why am I drinking this much water? Educating them enough that once they are in shape, if they leave after the challenge, they can maintain everything they've just done.
What are they like at the beginning? Because I know it's not just about fitness and health. It's the mental attitude, isn't it?
Yeah.
So can you describe to me the usual client who comes to you? Is he a bit lost?
Lost. Tried maybe many different things, different diets. Don't really. One thing I found consistently what most people do wrong is portion sizes. So it doesn't matter what, even if you're eating the right foods, you're eating too much of it, it can cause a similar problem.
Yeah, you've got a plate full of anything, it's going to make you fat.
They say, they may be like, say, 20 stone, and they say, well, how many meals you having? Only one. Yeah, but that one, and it could be even pasta, but they're having a massive amount of it, and the problem is then you're storing it as fat.
Yeah.
So
they're looking for an answer.
Yeah.
Why are you the answer? Why do you manage? Because you've shown me umpteen photos of guys who look a bit out of shape, some more than others, and then they look great. They don't look over muscly because we don't need them like Schwarzenegger, but they look good.
Yeah.
What do you do? How are you managing it?
It's quite a simple process. In reality, most men, even if they're 1 stone overweight or 10 stone overweight, the idea is you're eating less and you're moving more. Once you adopt that principle, you'll start to lose weight and get in shape anyway. And it's like I say to them, we all carry muscle mass, everyone. We have to have muscles to move. If we can get the fat down, then even if you didn't do any weights, you're still going to look good. You put a little bit of weights in as well, and all of a sudden you
look great.
Yeah, you got a different ball game. But I think a lot of it is internet's an amazing tool, but there's so much conflicting information. If you put a question on there, and it'll say you have 30 different answers, 5 will be right, 5 will be completely wrong, and the rest may be somewhere in the middle.
But I can't help but think that what's important about all this, because guys can do these kind of regimes anytime they like, is you, Johnny.
Yeah.
Because you're the guy who's like, you completely fess up to being a bit of a drinker at one point and it all going quite pear-shaped for you.
Well, I follow the notion of say it as it is. I won't beat around the bush. If I think somebody is... I've had people in my challenge which maybe 370 pounds in weight, and they'll message me halfway through. I'm giving up and I can't do it. I'll give them the motivation first and say, well, you can do it. You've done this far. You can do it. But then I give them the reality check of where you're 35. You've come to me as probably a last resort. What you was doing wasn't working. You walk away now, you may not be here in 5 years.
Or you're just going to continue.
Yeah. And they appreciate it because I'm not doing it to be nasty. I'm not doing it because I need them on my challenges. My challenges are always full. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes you got a guy who got a wife, kids, other family members. They'll skirt around. They may not tell him what he needs to hear. And he needs to be told, You know, the size you are and the way you're going to go, your health. You know, and that's the other thing is, if you leave it go too far and you get older, and then you have different medical consequences for your health and your lifestyle, well, then you may not be able to do anything about it, and then you're in a really bad place.
We hear an awful lot about mental health these days. Yeah. Something we didn't hear about when we were kids. It didn't happen, did it? What is it that, are you seeing a lot of that people aren't, or the men aren't that mentally healthy? And how do you handle that?
I think if you're a busy guy and you're waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror, you're embarrassed of what you see, and you're putting clothes on to mask it, and you're getting on with your day. The problem is that initial waking up, looking in the morning and not happy with what you're looking at is going to set in your mind for the rest of the day. You're going to get on with your job, you're going to get on with things, but you're not going to be happy. You know, that ultimate waking up in the morning, not happy with what you see. And once you can start making changes to that, they change almost instantly. So when they come to me, they want to join the challenge, I'll sit in my office, I'll explain how we're going to do it. They're almost different people leaving the office. They haven't done anything.
They got hope.
Yes. And I think that's the biggest thing is...
Is that what you're handing out, hope?
Yeah. And it's quite tiring. It's like the Green Mile, you know, when he gives all his energy away.
I love that film.
Yeah, and some days it's like that. And, you know, I train myself and I try to follow diet as much as I can, but sometimes I'm too busy looking after everyone else because that's what I like doing.
Is that what they need? Someone to believe in them?
Yeah. And tell them they can do it. And show
be
them.
Interested in them.
Well, that's where the progress pictures come in, because if you were looking at yourself every day in the mirror, like everyone does, you don't see the minute changes. If you do your check-in and then I get your first picture you gave me compared to the third week picture, I put them next to each other and I send it to you. I say, there's the progress.
Already you can see it in 3 weeks, really?
Yes, and that changes them. Because then they can see it's working, they know it's working. I think I've done so many transformations, without blowing my own trumpet, I think people know they're going to get results providing they stick to it.
So you're basically fixing these guys. You're making sure they're eating the right stuff, getting a bit of exercise, and getting more confidence in themselves, and that helps them, the mental...
I'd say, even though the physical changes they're there for everyone to see, what it does for them mentally is off the scale. I've actually had a phone call last week with weight management, NHS, and what I said to them was I sent them the details they've asked for, possibility of me having a referral scheme, because nowadays, well, I suppose forever, men have traditionally not sought help, whether it be health concerns, overweight.
Oh, try and get your husband to go to the doctors. Yes.
And I think where the NHS, you know, is what's an amazing thing to do. But I think where you give somebody who's 29 stone, he's out of breath all the time, he's depressed, the only thing he got in life is rubbish food. You're trying to take that away. He isn't going to go down the route of appointment cards, go and see this nutritionist at 10 o'clock in this place. Whereas with what I do is a collective of all different ages, from 18 to, I think, 69 is on my last challenge. And the support they give each other.
Is that it? Is it the community that's keeping all the guys in? Yeah. And if someone's feeling a bit, you can say, oh, no, it's not good, I don't want to do this. Yeah. And they're all kind of go, come on.
Yeah, but 80% of the people on my men's challenges train in other gyms. Roughly 20% train in mine. Okay. And the ones in my gym, even if they've done a challenge and they leave, they're adamant they join in. And it's only a small gym. It's not. I can't compete with all the big, massive gyms.
The big guys, yeah.
But it's, you know, a gym isn't just about the equipment. It's about the people in it. And I think a lot of big gyms, they got no character. There's no real heart there. You're just a number.
It's community again, isn't it? I'm worried about you though, Johnny.
Yeah.
Because I bet you're talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're in the office, chatting away, sending out I don't know, the health plans, the food, food plans,
Diet plans.
or diet plans, that's it, all that kind of stuff. When do you get to have a proper tidy meal and do your exercise and stuff? He's having to think, everyone.
Yeah.
He is having to think here. I know. I
do get it done. It gets done when I have time. But I think I started playing golf with my best friend Anthony Ball October last year, and that's my release. So that is the only time my phone ever goes off.
Decompress.
Yeah. But I go into work on a Monday and I got diet plans, check-ins to do, and so on and so on. But I think I've done so many transformations now.
Do you know how many?
Over 1,000. I stopped counting after £13,000 weight loss.
Fair enough. Oh, I like the idea of that.
£13,000. That's what we lost.
Where did it go?
I was counting to that point, and I thought I just had enough. There's no point.
That's enough.
Yeah, but over 6 tons weight loss.
We've lost 6 tons. That is fantastic.
Yeah, but I think not just that, like the messages I do have off the boys, like the one challenge finished yesterday, challenge 9, and the message is saying, you haven't just transformed me physically, you saved my life. And that I hear that word time and time and time again, and I think it's good. I think it needed somebody where, like I said, the NHS is amazing and it's overrun at the moment. And it's a lot of men out there who need help, who I can be on the same level. Nothing is rushed. Things are done. You train in your time. You eat in your time. I'm here if you need a chat, if you've got anything else going on. And I think that works.
I think it's a community. I really do.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to anyone who's listening to this, who finds themselves in the same boat as you were in 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago? What would you say to that guy?
Definitely fitness. Fitness can be, it's time consuming. So you're thinking of what you're having for your meals, you're prepping your meals, you go into the gym. I think it gives you a different outlook on life where, you need something to focus on, something positive, and there's nothing more positive to focus on than yourself. I think, self-care, mentally, physically, all goes hand in hand. But once you start that process of going to a gym, maybe starting a diet plan of some sort, the second you do that, your mindset changes. You can see a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that's why I've done so good with Precision Physiques, because I show them there's 1,000 transformations there. And, I've shown them.
Terribly impressive.
Yeah, and I showed them where, if you look at the before and after pictures, so the before pictures, the guys there, they glum.
They do look a bit glum. They don't look happy.
They're not
They've had to take their shirt off. Not thrilled.
Yeah, and then you look at the final picture, and they smiling, and they kind of got that.
Strutting a bit.
I wouldn't say arrogance, but it's
but they're happy.
I know I look good, and I love it. I think that's that's just all about, I think.
So my final question to you: over the past 10 or more years, what are you most proud of?
Giving up the alcohol.
That was the first step, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Johnny, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you. It's Johnny Clarke. Go and see him.
Thank you very much.
I've had a fantastic time. It's so positive. There's a lot of stuff that isn't positive, and you've come in and been absolutely sunshine. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good luck to all the guys. How many guys have you got working right now on their challenges?
So my 9th challenge finished yesterday. It's £1,000 for the winner as well.
Ooh.
Because I think, a lot of people are not in it to win the money, but it's a nice incentive where I'm doing good. I might be able to.
Might be in with it.
And it pushes them that little bit more. But the next challenge starts the 13th of July. So tomorrow I'm in my office and I start again.
Good luck to all the guys.
Thank you.
Could win £1,000.